Hi, I want to speak to the PIMOs, Ex-JWs, and others, especially those who feel they've been cheated out of so much time spent in the organization, and who feel like they've suffered unnecessary hardship. Just want you to hear me for a moment, okay? You really grow through what you go through in life. And as a result of the growth, the growth is uncomfortable. We've all heard the expressions of no pain, no gain, growing pains, or you know you get the point. There's many of these expressions, and they're really true. You see, you say the JW experience was tough. Yeah, it was tough. No doubt. But you're here to overcome that. You didn't come here for an easy peasy life. So I want you to imagine for a moment that you're talking to someone, and you say, how are you? And they say, oh, I'm perfect. And you say, great, what are you doing today? And they say, oh, nothing. And you say, nothing? Yeah, okay, well, why not? And they say, everything is perfect. I don't have to do anything. All is perfect. Now, if that's the case, imagine that conversation taking place every single day. Does that sound like a joyful way of life? You're just sitting around doing nothing because everything is perfect all the time. There's nothing to do. Is that how you'd really want to live your life? Just sitting there, empty, vacant eyes, staring into space. Everything's perfect. If someone's living like that, then they aren't really living. They're just slowly wasting away. So you're not here for this ideal, easy life where you don't have to do anything. It's just like a diamond in the rough. You know what a diamond in the rough has to go through to really become a diamond? It's put under intense pressure to become the most beautiful of jewels. It's just like the caterpillar that must be in a cocoon and endure the stages of maturation and endure before turning into the most beautiful of butterflies. It's just like the seed that you must plant into the darkness of the dirt and mire. And while it continuously gets rained on, it just slowly begins to grow in the mud, and then it emerges one day as a beautiful flower, and often as vegetation for all of us to eat, the animals and us as well. It sustains our lives. That's right, that vegetation sustains our lives. That whole process is something that we don't even notice, but that is so very essential to the continuation of the human and animal species. But we don't complain about that, how difficult that is. A farmer doesn't plant a seed and come back in an hour or even in a day and complain about how the plants haven't grown. So you came here to get through these processes and challenges. Now, I want to be very clear. That doesn't mean that you go out looking for big giant problems to solve. You're not looking for heavy duty hardships. It doesn't mean you go out looking for that. So, neither extreme is good. You're here to be right in the middle, balance, to fulfill a mission that you have. When you go to the movies, is another example. I'm thinking of. When you go to the movies, do you go there to sit around and watch people say how beautiful life is and yeah, everything's great? No, no, no. The whole idea of attending a sporting event, see, this is a great example, sporting events. What do you think that's all about? There's only 2 teams and there's only one is going to win that game. So there's a 50% chance that the team that you're rooting for is going to lose or to win. You don't go there to watch an easy game. Have you ever watched basketball or soccer? Those are the sports I like, you know. One basketball team, the team is up by 40 points in the fourth quarter. You notice what starts to happen? In the fourth quarter, one team is up by 40 points. But did you ever look at the audience? People start leaving. They lost interest. There's no challenge. And people around you say, they won, you know. But it was, so, listen guys, what are we going to do now? Let's go eat, you know. People lose interest. They said, you know, there's no point in staying here. There's no challenge in that. But what happens when it's the end of the fourth quarter and one team is up by 1 point? And it's a championship game. Oh. People are on the edge of their seat. And sometimes the audience starts standing up, preparing themselves for the final 30 seconds. Or sometimes they're on the edge of their seat and they're like, the clock is running down. You don't see the people leaving. And in fact, you don't even notice the people because you're so busy watching the game. So everybody's excited. Team members on the sidelines are gathering around. They're arm in arm. They're holding on to each other to gather the energy. 20 seconds. Oh no. Oh no, they fumbled the ball. Oh no, we got 10 seconds left. Oh no. Then there's a buzzer beater. I'm just describing it. You're not even at a game, but your imagination is hearing what I'm saying. The thrill of that. Because people are there to feel the thrill of the challenge. Just one basket away from winning the championship. Each team thinking and strategizing, players coming together to see how they can overcome the challenge, knowing that they can win. Yes, we gotta win this. What excitement! I used to watch this regularly back in the day, but I stopped because I was bouncing off the walls during the championship season. So it's just amazing to watch. And if you've ever watched a soccer game, you see someone, when you see someone scores a winning goal and it's toward the end of the game, these games are held in the soccer games are held in giant arenas and the crowd goes wild. And the reaction of the players on the field, it's mesmerizing. They're running around on the field, jumping up and down, and there's pandemonium because they are over the moon with joy. In fact, earlier this year, the Super Bowl was an amazing game this year. Yeah, it was a nail biter. So the point of all of this is that when you really examine these games and what they are about, and they're about getting through obstacles and the hardship and the challenge. That's why many people they love to root for the underdog. Because they know that they've been through so many challenges and they've gotten to a certain point where they can actually win. Maybe even possibly win a championship. And they've seen the struggle that team has gone through to get to this particular year where they're vying for the championship. So maybe for the first time, they could possibly win. So that's why you're here. You're here, you're playing your own game, you're in your own movie. You're here to work through the challenges, feel the joy and the power of conquering those things. And once you do, you rise because you learn and you grow through what you go through. And once you get past that discomfort, you rise up even higher. You know, it's just like when you coming back to your real life, when you have to spend years training or studying to get that formal piece of paper, certificate, diploma, degree, whatever, saying that you completed all your coursework and you've accomplished your goal. Isn't there a joyous celebration with friends and family, usually to mark the achievement despite all the work and the study that you had to endure, all that? Why? Why are you celebrating? Because it was a challenge that was not easy. Maybe this was achieved while working maybe you did it while you were working a full-time job, or caring for children, or getting through the challenge of going to school and doing these things in a less than ideal living situation. But you made it through the challenge, and now you can bask in the glory of that. Bask in the glory of achieving your goal. And then do you stop and sit down and say, okay, I have nothing to do now? No. You're on to the next level of achievement. You're ready to conquer the next thing. We never stop, because life is full and rich with so many dreams and desires that we aspire to. And there's so much to choose from. It's never too late. It's never too late unless you believe that. Unless you believe it's too late. If you believe it's too late, then it's too late for you. But it truly is never too late. So that, my friends, is what life is about. Many people call this the game of life, right? Yeah. So when you win over a challenge, you are filled with exhilaration. You first experience what you don't like, and then you realize what you truly desire. Yeah. So, when you're faced with a challenge that really makes you work, tell yourself, you're going to get through this. I'm going to make this work. Okay? And it's the same thing with Jehovah's Witnesses. If you're listening to this, I'm sure most of you are PIMO. And if you are, think about the challenges you had to endure. You see? So now that you're overcoming it, your mind, you've taken back control of your own mental mindset. Okay? And now you look at it as a challenge that you had to get through. And now everything and anything is possible for you. Remember what you had to go through to get here. It's challenging dealing with Watchtower and all that unpleasantness. It's unsettling. It's uncomfortable. But now, which is the most important moment of your life, now that you've discovered the truth about that religion, be thankful that you were able to get through it. Now it's time to rebuild your life. Your life is not over. Just by virtue of the fact that you are now living right now, hearing my voice, means that anything is possible for you. All that stuff from the past, all that brainwashing it's over. It's really over. It's time to move on. And when I say it's time to move on, I'm not saying just snap your fingers and it's over. No. There's a time, it's time to grieve through it if you haven't grieved yet. Get through the grieving process. Get through the grieving process. Okay? Allow yourself that time to grieve. There is a time factor involved. You have to grieve so you can really, really be over it. Give yourself that time. Take that time to get through that grieving process. If you can get some therapy, that would be ideal. It would really help to have someone to talk to, someone who's non-judgmental. You can talk to others who are also grieving, who are stuck in the same situation as a Jehovah's Witness, but be careful. You don't want to get stuck in each other's stories. You don't want to keep rehashing the trauma that you experience. So that's not helpful when you need to be hopeful. You've come this far. So seek help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. Get a helping hand. We are here on this planet to help each other. Many people reach out to help others simply because they get joy out of doing that. And you will feel more joyful when you reach out to somebody who can just be a listening ear. And just a side note, I'm a certified life coach. If you're interested, you can contact me. I'll leave my email contact in the notes below. But in any case, get help from somewhere. That's the main point. It doesn't matter where. Just get help from somewhere. Find someone who has experience with dealing with religious trauma. That's really the best approach if you can. And sometimes if you're dealing with someone who's not willing to just stay in the story, that's the key. If the person wants to stay in the story, it's just going to keep getting rehashed. It doesn't really feel good. So if you need to rehash that story, go ahead. Do it once or twice, and then it's over. Just by your being alive means that you've gotten through it. That's a very important thing to remember. Why? Because there are many people who did not survive. Many, many people, from those who committed suicide. There were also those who refused blood transfusions that could have saved their lives. Thousands. Yeah. Quite a few people who did not survive. But you're not one of those people. Something to think about. You're still here, which means that anything is possible. That is really the truth. That is the real truth. Not what they taught you. What I'm telling you right now is the real truth. You are in this life because you are strong enough to live it. Thank you for listening, and have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, tap that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post new content.